I knock people out, they don't fucking move. Who the fuck is that guy? Oh, don't be scared, homie.
Welcome to Throwing Hands.
Oh God, you're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail.
My balls are hot.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Throwing Hands podcast from the SuperSour network. It's Joe, the whitest Puerto Rican you know, your boy, the host of everything that goes on here, and Rick is MIA again. Rick was in full communications before he wasn't, and that's how we'll put that, but we forgive him. He's one of my few brothers, and it's okay. But one of my other brothers, if you know what I'm saying, is here to fill in, Darnell. Darnell, what's up, man?
Yo. I was not expecting the whitest Puerto Rican you know part. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, that's what threw me. Not even the entrance. Just that part.
That was, you know what? I made that up one day, just driving around in my truck, and I was like, because that's what people say about me. They're like, you are the whitest, like, because I tell people I'm Puerto Rican, they're like, I don't see it.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, a lot of people would, like, if I ever tell anybody I'm Puerto Rican, and, like, it doesn't matter about the tan skin either. Like, some other Hispanic people assume it of me, like, habla español? And I'm like, no. But any other ethnicity ever comes up to me, and they're like, so you're white, right? And I go, sure, yeah, I mean, yes. So a little, let you know what, format-wise, what we do on the Throwing Hands. It's basically just talking shit and going over everything that's gone on. But the format to it for this one will be basically that. Obviously, we're going to be talking about this fucking card that just happened. We end it with a street fight video every time. And then we're also doing a little ode to Nate, a little video compilation I've pulled up. So got a lot of fun going on in this episode.
All right, I'm down. Sounds like fun.
Hell yeah.
Especially the fight comp. Fight comp is always the best. They're always so random. And some can be terrible, though. Some can be terrible. It's pretty bad knockouts. Whether it be punches, kicks, slams.
You know what kind of fight compilations I like? The rare funny ones. The rare funny UFC, like where they show like all kinds of like shit talk and like funny moments that happen. Like you rarely see it, you know, it's so high, so professional.
Yeah. Not anymore as much. We gotta go to places like outside the US to get those, especially now.
That's true. Because no, yeah, you're right. When you see goofy highlights and like Rod Dang doing weird things and like whatever, I think that's PFL or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, PFL. Yeah.
Like you're like, yeah, that's where that goes on now. Or like, you know, Mike Perry fighting every single person in his way from BKFC. It's like that's where the crazy shit happens now in other places.
Yeah, I thought I wanted bare knuckle fighting until like the first couple events, and I was like, yo, this is kind of fucked. Like, people are getting cut open quick. This is worse than elbows or knees. Like, first few punches, your face is swollen up.
They say that that's still apparently healthier. Apparently, that's what they say.
Yeah, my ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say hard to agree in the moment when you're like, I mean, the dude is a bloody mess. I don't really. I mean, science is science, but out of blood loss via the head trauma, I don't know.
Yeah, nah. Especially the Artem Lobov fights, like those, his eyes are like just shut pretty much by the end.
It's so funny.
And
every time. It's funny, the fighters who have like a injury that happens to them every single time, like the Diaz brothers with the cuts above the forehead. You know, Jay Chick becoming a different forehead every single time she fights now. It's like,
I mean, he's done fighting, thankfully, because those last couple fights were pretty bad. I mean, the first Wei Li fight was perfect. But then did they even? No, yeah, they did fight again because that's when she retired.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even get to see that fight. I think I was working.
Yeah, and that fight was.
Yep, I was working.
It was worse because Joanna just got beat up at that point. And Zhang Weili, it's like, did I just say her name wrong? Oh my god, am I
Zhang Weili?
Zhang Weili. Okay.
No, you're fine.
You know, it sucks that she doesn't get like the hype and the prop that she should, because she's dominated genuinely the best of the best in her division. People still, when they see her fight, they're like, it's so
Nah, the only one I have a problem with her fights was when she got the belt the first time. Was she was beating the back of Jessica's head like so bad, and I was like, bro, how? No one's saying anything, and I'm like, you know what? They're in China. Forget it. She wins.
Nobody's gonna say anything here.
She got home field advantage. It's fine. Just like Bisping, anytime he fights in England, he's winning. It doesn't matter.
or GSP in Canada.
No, yeah, you don't want those.
Okay, so now let's talk MMA. Yeah, so boy oh boy, this fight card. This fight card. Let's talk UFC 279. Probably one of the best fight cards, in my opinion. One of the best fight cards in the past few years, maybe of all time. Maybe top 5.
Well, it's so sad because fucking Tony lost again.
I know.
And then some brought up, it was like, yep, this is the 5th loss in a row. And it's like, it's because of that double weight cut.
Yeah.
He did back in 2020. If he didn't double weight cut, he might be straight now.
That's what started it all, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, he made weight on the night he was supposed to fight. Was it Khabib?
Because that's the one that got canceled, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that last fight, yeah, it was supposed to be against Khabib, and then he's just like, yep, look at me, champ shit only. I made weight. Where you at, Khabib? And it's just like, bro, relax, please, please. And then he's fighting Chandler, like, not Chandler, but Justin, like, a month and a half later, and then he had to make weight again.
Right. He tries too hard to live up to that name, El Kukui, you know?
I mean, he is the boogeyman. He's fucking walking zombie to him that for 4 rounds, basically, until he got stopped.
It's true. You're not wrong. And what makes this card so top 5, in my opinion, so up there is, I mean, never has any of the things. I mean, Conor threw a dolly at a bus and shattered a bitch's face and shattered Michael Chiesa's eyes and didn't even get to Khabib, and still it didn't do anything to the card, you know, like nothing happened. Like it was just a wild thing.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time ever that a pre-fight presser didn't happen because a brawl. Like then after that, then a fighter misses weight by 8.5 fucking pounds,
which is unheard of.
It's wild. And then
except for Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks is fucked up a lot.
Him, and even though Anthony Rumble has a very valid excuse, Anthony Rumble Johnson has struggled a lot. But I'm like, my man was fighting at middleweight when he was at heavyweight.
No, he was at 170.
He was.
Then
he
moved to 185. Yeah. And then was like, all right, light heavyweight. Fuck it. God. Done cutting weights.
Murdered his way up the division. That's all that matters for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the whole fight card. Well, the whole fight card. The 2 main fights had to be swapped, and then God, what is the
leech?
The leech. There we go. That's an easier way to find it. Yeah, the leech. And then he just got a random. That sucks that his matchup. He really got the short end of the stick with that matchup because
he went from fighting Tony at 170 to fighting D-Rod, who weighed in at 180.
Yeah.
So you guys are fighting a bigger guy. You don't know how, you didn't train for him. Nobody trained for anybody, really, after all 3 of those fights got mismatched like that.
Exactly.
And then he didn't get the decision, even though,
a lot of people
they were fighting, but it wasn't, crazy.
I thought he was going to win when, I was, at that point in the fight, we were all, hanging out and chatting a little bit, and I was kind of in and out of it. But I pulled back through when they gave the decision to Rodriguez, and I'm like, hold on, guys, everybody stop talking.
Yeah.
I need to hear what this bullshit is right now. But the leech is so nice, man. I don't think he loses any stock with this. I don't think anything negative comes. I think he finds another good fight, and he probably whips that ass in his actual weight class.
Yeah, D-Rod actually, because D-Rod actually is supposed to be 170, and he actually tweeted out the next day or something, or it might have been Monday. He's like, everybody calling bullshit on that fight. Let's run it back. So it's we could get a rematch on that, and that could end up being a fight night main event or something.
I could see that. That's a good call. I could see that. Yeah. So this card, unprecedented circumstances that makes it happen. We find out after, so I was going to say earlier, so me and Rick did an episode of Throwing Hands last week, and right after we finished, literally, we stopped recording, I said goodbye, we talked about some shit, I said goodbye. Right afterwards, I get on Facebook, the first meme I see is a meme of fucking Will Smith from Fresh Prince standing in an empty room, and it's Dana White for that 3 minutes in the press conference, and I was like, that's funny, but I don't get it. And I look, and I had a YouTube notification for the presser, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it right now because it says it's only 17 minutes long for some reason, and then did you watch that video of the presser at all?
No, I don't think so. I think I just watched the part where he was standing up there and said, that it's not happening. He still didn't even know what was going on back there. He just knew that something happened.
Yeah, that moment that you saw, like when that big guy comes up to him and says something to him in his ear, like that's the moment where he finds out that there was a brawl that broke out. But if you watch, I think it's still out there. If you watch the presser, it's 10 minutes of like promo stuff, like cuts and video shit, and then it's 7 whole ass minutes of Dana just standing out there, people trying to ask him questions, him not taking any because it's not time. He's flipping people's names on the shit, and he's just standing there doing nothing. He's so confused as to because I think they call out somebody. That's what happens. The first thing happens about like a few minutes in, they call out the leech, and nothing happens. They call out Tony, nothing happens. They can't get anybody to fucking come out and talk. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And the leech makes an appearance for a second, but he's like, go back. Cause he
I've seen that clip on Twitter. Yeah.
So fucking poor leech, dude. He
bro, got the nice suit, everything.
And he waved everybody. He's a man of the people. He was like, hello, everybody.
And then just 2 big mouths had to fight each other. They had to just start talking shit in the back.
Did you, what I love about the after presser, because he did like a presser after that, and people were obviously, number one question, so what happened? What happened, Dana?
Yeah.
And afterwards, like, it was funny because he's like not disclosing. He's like, I'm not going to tell you guys. And literally, I don't know if you've seen that video, but there's an interviewer who just barks up and he's like, so we have breaking news from like another interviewer who's telling us exactly what happened. Was it Darren Till, Cosma, and Kevin Holland who started the fight? And he goes, yeah. I was like, oh shit, which is a relief because immediately you think, oh, the Diaz brothers went up and started some shit. Did you hear the breakdown? Do you know how, like, why the brawl started?
From what I had seen, I'm pretty sure Kevin was being a meme when he posted the video and he sent an offer Hamza a beard shape up with the Manscaped 4.0. Yep. That's what he said. I'm like, that anything could have been said back there, honestly.
Yeah, what was actually said is not disclosed, so that part we don't know. All we know is that Holland and Chimaev were smacking. I'm sure I've seen there's a video. I think I have it up. I'm pretty sure. I may or may not. We'll have to see. But it's of Darren Till and Holland talking mad shit to each other while Chimaev's apparently in the back, like being held back. And I'm like, is that from the presser? I don't know. That it's not being said. So
at that point, I see it as Darren. If you're talking shit, Kevin can go to 185.
Oh,
like he can,
yeah.
he fought at when his first couple fights were 185. He had that 5-win streak at 185.
Yeah,
and it's like, bro, Darren, you haven't been the same since Tyrant, and
that's
then
true.
Masvidal made it worse.
That's so
you ain't
true.
been the same.
And he's calling them like this, they're like him and Chimaev the Smash Bros. I'm like, chill out, Darren. Like you haven't smashed anybody in a while.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you've been going through some shit. Just get it together, bro, please.
You ever seen that video of him talking to Mike Perry and mistaking spar for spa? You ever seen that?
Nah, that sounds hilarious, though.
It's exactly, it just kind of proves to your point, too. It's like, in the video, I mean, you can see in his eyes his genuine, like, oh, I don't want to do that with him, which nobody wants to spar with Mike Perry, so I kind of can't even put that past him. Oh, yeah, it's hilarious, though, because Mike Perry's like, yeah, we can spar, though. I only have, like, in the knee, fucking Darren Till starts like, oh yeah, spa. What are you thinking? And then he's like, no, like yeah, but I have like the mini gloves, so that's all I have. And then Darren Till goes, oh shit, spotting? You're talking about spotting? Oh fuck, mate. Oh, holy shit! And he like hugs him. He's like, I mean, yeah, I guess we could have a go. Sure. I'm like, oh, it's a bad choice. But he's very hesitant. He's like, I don't want to do that. But yeah, so with the brawl afterwards, so Kevin Holland, they all start fighting. In that video, Kevin Holland, it's got to be from the presser because he's in the video, he's reminding Darren Till, he's like, you have to remember, I'm from California, and so I only live about 3 hours from here. So he's like, but this is all you have on your team that you brought. And I'm like, oh, he's talking about the big numbers he brought. So he's saying you want to do this. He's like, I'll make a call, and in 3 hours we can have even numbers if you want, or I can get more guys, which was pretty baller. It was pretty baller to say. And then he did call out Darren Till for not having a single win. So it's like,
yeah, his last win was, I think it was like a split decision with him and Kevin Gastelum.
Oh yeah,
and even Kelvin, like when it got announced, like the scores, he's just like, "What the fuck? Really? Whatever, then fine."
Like
that was his last win, and I think that might have been his last fight, and that was like 2019.
Remember, like I live, I'm from California. It's like 3 hours away. You guys are like 20 hours away on plane. You know what I mean? You guys got 30 here right now. I'd have 100 here by the night. You know?
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
you don't want to do that, though, do you? You want to fight tactic?
I don't really care.
I've just said to you that
I don't really care, man.
You should care.
I don't.
You should care.
I'm here last second to save your card. It's not the other way around, bro. Okay, well then that's perfectly fine.
I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying nothing to nobody, bro. You guys are walking up on me, trying to have conversations with me and shit.
Kevin Holland making good points.
I mean, none of my boys have ever got involved. We've seen you guys several times sitting around. Your boy's back here flipping people off like he wants to do something and shit. This guy right here,
he can do what he wants.
Well, then we can do what we want.
Well, do your thing with Cams. That's on Fight Saturday.
Okay, I'm gonna do my thing. If anybody steps up on me, I'm gonna do my thing.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
Pretty reasonable. Very reasonable, I think. I clearly, I mean, it's broken down right there. Clearly, dude, Chimaev is a problem. I don't like him anymore. He's a problem.
Yeah, I was cool with him until this whole weight cut thing. That's when I was just like, bro, what the fuck? And by that much, like, I can understand, like, 1 or 2 pounds, even 3, but 7.5, 8.5 pounds, bro, like, you basically didn't try almost. Like, you just said, fuck. You almost pulled a fucking Paulo Costa. Right? He almost made, like, he easily could have been like, oh, let's make it a 185 fight. And it's like, nah, Nate's already at 170. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, and that's what I don't like. Some people were trying to say like that. Oh, you could tell that he was tired, or like because he wasn't very tired, it meant that the doctors were right that they were telling him that he really couldn't like cut that weight. I don't. He's made that weight before, so yes, he can. And also, when people say like, that's the thing, they're taking that like with him being up there like looking like he doesn't care, it means it's because he really could make it. And I'm like, no, I'm on your side. No, he just went up there and acted like I don't care because he doesn't care because he didn't try. And then he just, I don't know. Doctors are, I think everybody takes the doctor thing too seriously. If he acts like he's dying and fainting the whole time, I mean, the doctor's going to be like, yeah, I mean, he can't walk. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially if you can't fucking walk. If you can't even walk to the damn scale on your own, then yeah, bro, hang it up. This should not happen.
And another reason why it's a total bullshit lie, in my opinion, is that like, nobody has that hard of a time making weight, and like, the doctor has to come in and you're falling down all the time, and then dominates like that the next day. There's absolutely no way your rehydration process is that good. No way, because you lied, because you were fine the whole time.
Yeah, not without an IV bag. And no. Those are banned.
And those are banned. So I was gonna say, so there's zero possibility. It's crazy. I can't. And I heard it Wells put today. He went from being the next big thing in the division, which apparently I think they just got announced today. He's getting a title shot. I think, which is crazy.
I would fucking hope not.
That's what I hear. I don't know.
Nah, because as soon as after that fight happened, he lost points with me for fucking missing weight.
Yep. Kevin
goes for a goddamn glove touch at the beginning, and he just shoots on him, and I'm like, nah, fuck you, bro. You're not shit to me anymore. You're not even gonna legitimately fight somebody. And it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Give him the Kobe.
Right?
Give him the Kobe. Kobe's gonna stuff the takedowns. Now you got a bet. You got hands in hand.
Bro,
what are you gonna do?
Here's what you need to do right now. You need to get an email for UFC hiring. You need to go to talk to them and tell them you need to be the matchmaker. I didn't even think about that. Him versus Colby.
Hell no,
that's
bro.
the
hell. I would be a terrible matchmaker.
Colby would be mad at you. He's like, I don't want that fight.
I mean, because the only thing Colby has to worry about at that point is a stand-up fight, and we all know that Hamzat he can crack. We know that.
Yeah.
And just. Kobe, he has a chin on him. You just got to wear him down. But at the same time, it's like he's not going to shoot on him like that at all. At any point during the fight, he knows not to try to wrestle Kobe. Kobe's wrestling is ridiculous.
I didn't even think, and how well Colby would sell that fight too.
And he's already been starting shit with him.
Oh man, this has got to happen now.
He calls him cum shot, for God's sakes. Like, of all names, he calls him cum shot already.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like it's already set up. But it's like, if you're trying to make him fight Leon, he needs to prove that he can actually make 170, because you ain't finna get into a damn title fight and even if you win, you're not even gonna get the belt. It's like you just fought the fight pretty much, and that's useless.
Yeah. Yep, not a fan anymore. The boos were very well accepted. I'm so glad you pointed out the glove touch thing because, I mean, not a lot of people are like. I was so surprised when that happened. I was about to start shouting in the room because I was hands out like this on Reese and Stewart, who could I mean, I couldn't express to you anymore, man, how they could not give a shit. Like, they really didn't care. And I was like, but I was hands on both of them. I was like, what the fuck? Did you just see that? He faked it. No. And then immediately I'm freaking out. And then I hear the announcers go, wow. Joe goes, wow, that's incredible. His power's he's so strong. And I'm like, he faked the glove touch.
Yeah, it was straight up bullshit. Right after that, I was like, yeah, no, I can't roll with this dude.
No.
For any reason.
Public enemy number one. I can now I used to have a thing, and all the fighters I used to want to see get smashed have been smashed and gone in my life. Jose Aldo, Renan Barão, GSP. Although GSP won all of his shit, I watched him get smashed by Johnny Hendricks, and that's okay enough for me.
Yeah.
And but now he's the new one on my list. I can't wait until some dude just fucking dominates him.
Yeah, it's gonna either be Colby or for whatever reason, if they give him Kamaru, I don't see them giving Kamaru anything but a rematch.
A rematch,
honestly. But it's like it's gonna be either Colby or Kamaru that's gonna end up beating the brakes off that man. And if God forbid he somehow goes to 185 and fights Paulo Costa, again, you're not gonna shoot on him, but Costa throws nuclear weapons at people for fun.
It's another one. He's literally, even though the Yoel Romero fight with him was trash, he's literally Brazilian Yoel Romero. Like it's ridiculous.
You didn't like that fight?
No, I didn't like.
Bro, they were both throwing bombs at each other. Both were dropping each other. It was a good fight, especially because there's a still frame of when he kicked Romero in the face, and you just see like this his face just smashed in, but his foot is like still connecting. It was great.
That part I could appreciate. I don't like either of those guys, so it was. Okay. I can't stand them. So it's just when I was like, that's what I was hoping for. I was like, I hope they beat the shit out of each other, but
yeah,
it wasn't good enough for me. It wasn't good enough because one of them had to win. Nate Diaz, Tony Ferguson. This is what we would call, Darnell, let me tell you something. This is what we would call here. Rick made a good point. Right at the end of the podcast, he said, and I mean, this is probably why my brother's not, he's probably ascended to a higher being at this point, because he said to me, he goes, if we're living in the best timeline, if we're living in the best one, and this is when we thought he was going to fight Chimaev. So, if we're living in the best timeline, Nate Diaz gets a submission while doing a flex or middle fingers, and he ends his career like that, and he talks mad shit the whole time. That's the best way to end. And it obviously that was just saying it because we thought he was possibly going to get destroyed by Chimaev. And then we get the grace of God that he gets to fight Tony Ferguson, a light years better fight for him. So much easier. And then a good point I heard today is like the second that they shot onto the ground, I'm sure that's all Diaz was training was wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Yep. So he's like, oh, bro, I got you. But two things real quick. So one, the fight ended at 2:09. Don't know if you noticed that. He got a submission flexing at 2:09, okay? That's just one point about how great. That's why we are in the greatest. We are. So unfortunately, I know things go wrong in this world right now, but this is the greatest timeline. Things could be worse, I'm telling you. The other thing is that a good point to be said about this is that although we'll never know, if you notice, Chimaev and Tony Ferguson both shot in on their opponent, although Chimaev did it very cheaply. Yeah. They both shot in on their opponent the same exact way, diving in for the double where they could easily get guillotined. So all I'm saying is that if Chimaev would have done that to Nate, and that was the plan, then probably
going to sleep. Yeah.
yeah. Just saying. So Nate won twice is what I'm saying. Nate won both fights.
Oh yeah, for sure. What pisses me off about Kevin is it's like you're a BJJ black belt, bro. How do you not have like some rudimentary version of wrestling, at least defense?
Right.
Like he was doing fine with like rolling around and everything to make sure he couldn't like get his back or flatten him out or anything. But it's like he was just on top of him the entire. Every time he slipped out, he just got grabbed again, pretty much. And it's just like, God damn. You're right. He definitely could have gotten the guillotine at first. But again, he shot in when.
Oh, no, but I think, well, you know, you got to think of, like, the difference in black belt, though. Like, Nate Diaz, he's a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt for, you know, over 20 years at this point, you know. And,
yeah.
You know, Kevin Holland, although, yes, a black belt, like, I still don't think it, like, I think it pales in comparison to what Chimaev can do. And, you know, like.
No, yeah, not with that fucking wrestling.
No, no. Dagestanian Russian wrestling is next level shit, and I hate/love it in the UFC. It's, you know, you like to see it. I like to see it when a guy does the smashing, when they actually do smash, but otherwise, you just hate to see it because it just fucks up all your best fighters, you know? Like anybody, like me and Rick talk about all the time, where it's like, you know, you have a fighter you really like, or just a fighter that's a fan favorite, and then you'll see them go up against a guy who's got an OV at the end of his name, or like X's and Z's, and you're like, come on, man.
And you're like, well, all right, we know how this is probably going to go.
Exactly. And you're like, Dana, let these people, give them a chance. Put them up against a Tom something, or God, like, I don't know. Look up the names and stop giving people those letters. It's ridiculous. Put those guys up against each other. I bet that'd be dope. They never do that.
Too. That actually, they probably just wouldn't fight each other. They probably tried to make those fights, and they're just like, nah. I trained with him. I knew him from high school. I knew him from elementary. Something. I grew up with him. Anything, they're just like, nah, I'm not fighting him.
Our mother screwed up cooking bush or whatever. Like, you know, some shit like that. Some weird thing that has, like, green stuff all in it. You know, they you get it. Let me go grab another beer real quick, and then we'll talk more MMA.
I just watched Pikachu get put through a wall on Twitter.
Why did you watch that?
I didn't. I was just scrolling, and that was one thing that was there. It was like, God damn.
I'm trying to get harder on Twitter now because it's like, you know, I scroll on there sometimes, like when we're trying to like post stuff and promote and shit like that. And sometimes I'll just scroll and I'll be like, there's fun fucking stuff on here, honestly.
Yeah, it all depends on who you're following, honestly. Because some people, they're like, Twitter sucks, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're following the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just seeing whatever stuff you don't like, you need to get out of that.
I think that's all social media now, right? Because that's like TikTok. People are like, I don't want to watch people dancing. And I'm like, if you think when I'm on TikTok, dancing shit's on my feed, you're wrong. If there's anybody dancing, it's usually somebody who looks ridiculous, but they're hitting the moves perfectly. Like,
we gotta talk about that heel kick, that up kick into the liver. First one of its kind.
That was with the women's fight, right?
Yeah, the Irene Aldana. Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking up kick to the liver, and she just crumbled. And everyone was confused. The ref was confused. Irene was confused. She was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Reese and them asked me. They said, "What's happening?" I said, "I don't know. I'm very confused as well." I was like, and I love it. Like Joe says, he's like, the fans seem to be very confused. I'm like, we all are. I don't know what just happened. It was a very funny thing to see the transition of confusion, and then they show the replay on the big screen, and everybody goes, "Oh."
Yeah, that shit was rough.
Up kick to the liver. Good call out. Yeah, that was a good one. And then, you know, also you got to call out
Johnny Walker. That one. He finally got a win after getting like flatlined his past 3 fights.
And still does stupid celebrations and probably hurt himself. I guarantee he probably hurt himself.
No, he didn't hurt himself this time. Thankfully.
All right. Well,
he
that's
was
what
good.
They say.
Yeah, that first one was terrible. It's like, bro, you threw out your shoulder your first fight here. Good job.
You're an idiot. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about, and we have a video about him as well. We would be remiss if we did not talk about Chris Barnett, the world's new greatest heavyweight.
Shit, that's right.
Oh,
I forgot about that fight.
As I called him, and Reese lost her mind when I said it, it's you and Javon pushed into one person. And God
damn.
I was like, it's Javel the whole time. I was like, yo, Javel's killing it. And that's a fucking good compliment. You guys really do. I mean, but
Probably.
Chris Barnett, definitely. I haven't seen him fight since his last knockout where he did the infamous butt cannonball.
Yeah, this is his second fight.
Yeah, and I was bummed. I was standing. This was when the milkshake incident was going down.
Oh,
and I'm
okay.
standing there, and Reese is coming in and out, and the whole time I'm yelling at the screen because it was so crazy. My man's got a broken jaw. Literally.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
And he still fought through. And Stewart was there. He goes, "Oh, this looks bad for him." I go, "Trust me, bud. He's got it." I looked at Jake's face, and I said, "Oh, that white man's tired. He's so tired. He can't match the energy, dude." Is Chris Barnett a champion? Maybe one day. Maybe.
Yeah, he needs to make that 265 limit first.
Yeah, no shit.
I think he weighed in at 267 or 268. He's the heaviest person to weigh in, and it's like, god damn, like ever in the UFC, not just the fight card, like UFC history. He's the heaviest. Maybe there was that one sumo dude, unless that was a different organization. I don't know.
That would make him the first fighter that I ever like that actually has to cut weight to make heavyweight. I don't like heavyweights that have to cut weight. It makes no sense to me. But he would be the first one. And now I've come around on Tai Tuivasa too, and I know he has to cut to make heavyweight too. So
how were you not a Thai fan?
So it's because I'm not a big fan of like knockout heavyweights. Like I really lost interest in that over some time because like it's just
slanging and banging, bro. What do you mean?
Here's why. Because then I get behind them and then they meet up with like Cyril Gane or Francis Ngannou or Stipe or one of these heavyweights that knows how to wrestle, and then they just get dominated, or a heavyweight that just knows how to strike and stay out of the knockout punches and tire them out, and you get behind the hype, and then all of a sudden they're Roy Nelson and they're 4 fights losing, and you're like, and you just see them headhunting the whole time. But
okay, that's understandable. But
some of these newer guys, here's where the turnaround is, because some of these newer guys, and Ty was one of them. When he first came in, that's all he was. He was, if you remember, he's the guy who really solidified it for me. Why I hate them so much is Soa Palele. He doesn't fight for UFC anymore. Do you remember Soa Palele?
No.
Soa Palele was a guy who had to cut weight to make heavyweight, and he was a Hawaiian, and he was the worst because he thought he was the best. He would talk shit like, "I am the best. Yeah, I'm the best heavyweight," and it's because all he would do was every time he'd go into the octagon, sloppily take the person down, and then just ground and pound. So everybody was like, "This guy's the best, dude. He's ground and pounding dudes into the fucking into the core of the earth." And I'm like, "Yeah, he weighs 320 pounds. Like he weighs so much. Like
you're not doing anything impressive at that point.
It was
you're literally a blob, just inching your way onto people at that point. God damn, yeah, that would piss me off too.
So after a while, I was like, I'm tired of seeing that. But people are making me come around. Ty's making me come around. I wasn't a fan of the shoey at first, but you got over it.
Hey, bro, it's tradition. Will I do a shoey? Hell no.
No. Wait, look me in the eyes and tell me that if Tai Tuivasa asked you to do a shoey, you're not going to do a shoey.
Nah, yeah, see, at that point, you have no choice.
Gotta do a shoey. Yeah.
You do it and become famous, somewhat famous, or just be the most terrible person ever if you refuse. Like,
you definitely go viral, if anything. You go viral one way or the other for as being the worst person or the coolest person.
Exactly.
So there is video of Chris Barnett after the knockout. Did you see how they did him dirty? The hospital and UFC did him dirty afterwards?
What happened?
Here we go. Well, he's gonna tell you what happened, and if he doesn't tell you enough, I'll tell you afterwards.
How many hospitals? There can't be too many hospitals here.
No,
but they took us to the children's hospital. That's why.
This is trauma.
Oh.
They got the children's hospital trauma, and then they got the, I guess, maintenance.
Somebody come pick me up. We at the trauma hospital in Vegas. Please. Anybody. Somebody. Anybody find me?
My man's got energy.
Wow. Okay, so that's two more fuck ups to add on this card. Oh my god. Because what's his name? Johnny Walker. Apparently, him and his team got kicked out of the arena after the fight. Like he was barefoot and everything.
No.
Still had his fight gear on, and nobody knows why they got kicked out. Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
that just broke? Like they're just figuring that out now, or?
No. This is like same day, like a couple, like maybe an hour, and I just see a video of Johnny outside walking with no shoes on, still had his fight trunks on, and then his coach posted a video like, yeah, they kicked us out right after, told us to go back to the hotel, didn't give us time to change or anything. And it's like, what the fuck is going on over there right now?
That's
and
weird.
Now that's two things. Like you dropped the man off at a children's hospital.
Yeah,
that's a grown ass man,
and he didn't have a ride afterwards. He had no ride to get home. Like they're supposed to give you escort, and they didn't.
What the fuck?
It's crazy. Yeah, poor. And that's crazy because he literally like just went on a rant. If you remember his post fight, like at the interview, he literally was like, "I love the UFC. I love." He literally just.
And then y'all do this.
And what's worse about it, I don't know. It's like you want him to be mad, but he's just such a good guy that he's gonna sing Queen instead. Apparently. Yeah, Dana's really gonna help him out. That should be Dana's new best friend, but Dana's just gonna focus on Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou and shit.
Nah, I think he might be a little done with Derek. Derek's getting up there in age, and every time he's fought in Houston now, he's lost.
Yeah,
and it's like, how do you lose in your hometown 3 times in a row, bro?
It's too much pressure.
I don't remember the first one, but I remember he lost against Cyril Gahn, and that was for the belt. And then he just lost. Oh wait, I think the Thai fight was in Houston. So yeah, that was the.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck.
Yeah,
that's 3 fights in Houston. He lost all of them. And we already know he straight up said he has like no interest in the belt. He's like, bro, I'm just here for the money at this point. It's whatever.
Yeah, that's all. And that's fine because I want to. We want to see Derek Lewis fight. So that's fine. Yeah. Just give him a big name. Just don't give him any like title. I don't like that's what I'm saying. When guys like that, it's like I don't want because then they ruin title contenders. Those guys don't get the chance at that point because they get knocked out by Derek Lewis or whoever.
Yeah, they're gatekeepers.
Tai Tuivasa. Well, heavyweight gatekeepers are the worst. It's because like then because if you're a gatekeeper, like if you're a gatekeeper at any other weight class, you have a still a pretty decent chance of getting dominated by somebody soon. But if you're a heavyweight guy who's like, yeah, I just come in every once in a while, I try to knock people out. You could do that easily, and then fucking ruin that guy's chances. It's. I wanted to ask this question because I heard these things happening recently, of people talking about listen to a lot of podcasts. Pretty much my whole day is listening to podcasts, and a lot of those people watch MMA in those podcasts that I listen to. And I was listening to a lot of them talk about like their top moments in UFC, like their top like that they think are the top 5 moments, top 3, top 10 biggest moments in UFC, right? And not a single one of them, and that all those like moments brought up something that I thought was the best moment. So I was like, maybe my moment that I'm thinking of is just super underrated. And so now I'm thinking, now I just want to know what somebody thinks is a super underrated moment. So, like, I'll tell you mine, and although it could, it's just to you, because some people might hear mine and go, it's probably not, but, because it's not to me, but from what I'm hearing, and what people look at the top moments in UFC history, the most underrated moment in all of UFC is Chris Weidman, 162, knocking out Anderson Silva. That's the most underrated moment of all time. Anderson Silva was asked, don't you think Chris Weidman should be next? And he said, who's that? I don't know that guy. I don't know who that is. And he pretended like he did. And Chris Weidman was working his way up the division, just crushing dudes. And then he got to Anderson Silva, and he just put on, in my opinion, the best first round against Anderson Silva I had ever seen. He just straight old school Oklahoma took him down, boom, over the back, and then he went for ankle lock on the guy. And then his fucking coach, Ray Longo, goes, I want you to punch a hole through his chest. I mean, you can't write that. And then what does he do? When I tell people, I'm like, did he punch a hole through his chest? No. But what he did was he literally, that backhand that he gets him, that was him doing what I used to say when I watched anybody fighting Anderson Silva was, throw everything and the kitchen sink because he will eventually fuck up. I'm not saying I can do it, but I'm saying I can see it. And if you're a professional, do it. And Chris threw that one more punch. He was like, God, I'm going to fucking get you. And he got him. And it was wild. And it was July 5th. It was the most American weekend of all time. And then Wyman won. And then he shouted, Long Island. Long Island. And it was insane. And he held the American flag over him while they put the belt on him. And nobody wants to talk about that.
I'd say the reason that's downplayed is for two reasons. It's one, because Anderson was fucking off. And that's why he got caught, which is like legit what he was doing. He was fucking around with him. Was he fucking around when Wyman checked that kick and busted his leg? Obviously not. That came back and bit him 8 years later.
Right.
It was because Anderson was fucking off like usual, and obviously because it's Anderson. Everybody loves Anderson, so anything where they're gonna find a fault in most of his losses. So as to like, this is why he lost, not like giving a legitimate reason. But yeah, if he wasn't fucking off, like that probably would have went a little bit longer.
I still think Wyman would have taken him down, or
eventually, and honestly could have was. That was the Shell fight through before. But yeah, just like Shell was beating his ass for 4 rounds. He got to that 5th round and finally got him in a damn triangle. And that could have definitely happened again, except Chris would have probably just grinded him out because he's a heavier dude and a better wrestler, pretty much than Shell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was my whole life when that happened. Like that was my whole life, bro. It was the background on my phone. I was telling everybody about it. Like I was like, you could in the video when he actually knocks him out, like the highlight, you can see Usher in the background losing his fucking mind. I always point that out. I'm like, I don't know why, but that's great. Usher's there and he's like, oh my god, this is great.
The last person I'd expect to see a damn MMA fight.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. I'm like, that's probably his like first and last if I had to guess. I don't know. Speaking of Anderson too, before I do want to hear yours. Keep thinking of one, but I don't know if you saw because he's
fight Jake.
Fighting Jake. Yeah. So he was at the like presser. Did you see the video where dude, we are in the best timeline? The video with him and Chael.
Him and Chael.
Oh
yeah.
Let me tell you something, Chael. You never come to my house to my barbecue.
The barbecue.
Man. Why?
Okay, here's the thing. I didn't think it was a sincere offer. If I knew I was really invited,
of course, bro.
And then I didn't know if your wife forgave me, it was a whole thing. That's the real answer why I didn't come.
You need to come, please.
In Brazil.
No, here in Brazil, a lot of people try to kill you. Trust me. People hate you in Brazil, but I'm not. I love you, man.
I accept.
Oh, so we're in the best timeline. It
was the most genuine question. Like, bro, why didn't you come to the barbecue? Like, we invited you. We were waiting.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was a real thing. Of course. No, not in Brazil. No.
He's like, yeah, no. People want to kill you there, bro. You are not like there at all.
They probably have like Chael's face and like bars and stuff. Like, if you see this man, hog tie him and bring him to us.
That would be fucked.
So if you had to pick, Darnell, what would you say is the most underrated moment in UFC in your opinion?
For me, like, because I always think about it, like, no matter what I'm doing, especially when I see someone getting scooped up, is the way how Matt Hughes scooped up Frank Trigg and just carried him to the other side of the octagon and just dumped him. Like, it's just how he does it, because he's kind of getting beat up most of the fight, and then he just scoops him up and just like fireman carries him like all the way to the other side and just dumps off to the side, and it's like, what? You don't see that all the time. Usually you'll see you'll see them like pump and dump like right where they like picked them up at, but the fact that he just walked across, like, Frank could have probably like wiggled out a little bit, but he didn't. He just kind of sat up there and was just like, where the fuck am I going? And then you're on the other side of the octagon, and then you're losing the fight.
That's a good pick. You're right.
Like, they show it in highlights, but yeah, like that, I always think about it when someone gets picked up. I'm like, oh shit, is it gonna happen? Is it okay? Never mind.
It's what set a precedent for a long while of like people trying to do that. Like people would try to do that afterwards, and then the fighters would be like, "No, stop." I've seen this highlight before.
I'm not trying to be a second part.
Yeah. It's only supposed to be convenient for you if you happen to take me down over here.
Yeah, nah. But that's definitely one of my underrated moments. Because the other one I was thinking of is BJ versus I think it was Kauja Uno. I don't remember how to say his first name, but the last name's Uno. But fucking BJ just beelines across, flying knee. Yeah, knocks him down, and you just see just shovel punches.
Oh yeah, right up against the I love when that happens up against the cage. I'm like, it's brutal, but I'm like, it's the job done.
Yeah, you're dying. Yeah, just stop.
Good picks, man. I like those. Yeah, especially because like those are just ones that are just like highlights, and it's like it's not just a highlight. Like it's a big moment. Like that was a moment that launched BJ Penn. That was a moment that switched people's mindset of like trying to be in their corner and like trying to. Nobody even thought about that in that moment. They were like, "Yeah, man, I hope I can hear my corner." People were like, "Well, why don't you just work them over there? Why don't you just pick them up and be like, I'm taking you over here now?"
Yeah. Well, actually, thinking about it now, Hamza did that to. The Leech, their fight, he literally picked him up from like the middle of the octagon, looked for Dana, and then slammed him and talked shit to Dana. Like, yo, I'll kill everybody. Like, that's probably that's like maybe the second time you can say that happened.
Yeah. It's a weird moment to be there when you're being like WWE carried across a UFC octagon. You're like, so embarrassing. Okay, so let's just get to this video portion, and we have a Nate Diaz tribute in honor of him retiring from UFC and putting on, and us being in the greatest timeline of him putting on the greatest show and getting a submission victory to end off his career.
He mentioned that he needed to It's always a challenge, but it's a fun challenge.
Because I think for a minute he was fighting vegan, so that would make
vegan,
sense.
I think, right?
He's what?
I think he still is vegan, right?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, that looked like a piece of fish. He could be like pescatarian or something.
Pescatarian, maybe. I hear that's a big thing if like you want to switch over and still
but not get rid of protein completely.
Right. So now we got this is a video they put out before the fight. Obviously, it was just them talking some strategy. Apparently,
I've never seen it do that before.
Right. There we go. Come on. I just wish I could have like what they were saying in this moment, because I have no idea what Nick's trying to teach him, to be honest with you.
It looks like he's trying to teach him to like not be standing flat-footed all the time, so he can get power in his punches and pivot towards whatever side you're punching with.
So that's what I'm thinking too, but Nate's not doing it. So that's where I get confused.
I would just definitely say that's just Nate. Yeah, I see what you're trying to tell me, but fuck off. I'm not.
I'm not gonna do that, man. Yeah, which sucks. But I'm just like, Nick, are you like better at fighting now, but you're just not fighting? What the fuck? It's like that's not how Nick fights flat-footed too. So it's like that's
he does.
Yeah,
I'm not for Nick. Like that whole thing with the drug testing with the Anderson fight, and then him owing the commission like $50,000 or something for testing positive just for weed, and he wouldn't pay it. That's why he wasn't fighting. And this is like that's bullshit.
Yeah, well, I mean, he took that Anderson fight. If you didn't know, Cesar Gracie said that he took that Anderson fight because he needed to pay the commission from when he tested positive years ago. He still owed the money.
Christ.
It was the Las Vegas commission. He still owed the money from when he tested positive. I forget the George fight. I forget which one it was, but
yeah, I think it was a George fight.
Yeah, so total bullshit. But yeah,
it's like, bro, you know he's gonna smoke. Just fucking forget about it. Just let him smoke.
Well, I thought
he's not gonna be high at the fight. He's only done that one time that we know of.
Right, and that was Takanori when he got the Gogo Plata.
Fucking pride.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is like, oh, I'm sorry, I was high and I got a Gogo Plata on your best fighter. Fuck off. Yeah, no, it would make you. It makes you wish that Nick was around now because Nate could he smokes and whatever, and it's like no big deal. Like he's always smoking at the conferences, and it's whatever because they only test you for you need to have really high levels now in UFC to
Yeah.
So it's like you can just stop smoking for a couple of days leading up to your fight and be like, I'm good now. So. You would think Nick would be all about that, but I guess not. It's whatever. I don't even know what he's doing anymore. Maybe being upset about another girlfriend, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. This is kind of his thing. All right, let's go to the next one. Nate Diaz tells the story of slapping Conor McGregor, Khabib, which I was not aware of.
Yeah.
Did not know he did this.
This happened at another.
And I know him and his team at the World Series of Fighting. They were
there we go
taking a group picture because I was standing there watching Jake, my friend, fight. And they took a group picture, with me behind them just to laugh at me, make fun of me. You know what I'm saying?
Not doing that.
And I'm watching my friend walk out, trying to watch his fight, and then he's like, "Ha, come on, man!" Yeah, and they're all laughing. Like 12 Russian dudes. That's what set it off. Yeah, I slapped him in his face. They're making fun of me. I'm like, what? And then they didn't do nothing. Security came in and and then I got kicked out. Didn't even get to see my friend fight. I was outside furious. So I waited for his mother ass to come outside of there. I went to get his ass again, and he ran off. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. It was reckless. It was stupid. You know what I'm saying?
God, such a G. Even when he's trying to be like. That was probably. I love when Nate he does it a couple different when he calls out The Rock and he's like, because The Rock over there, it should have been Mike Tyson anyway. And then he has a moment where he goes,
"Oh yeah,
y'all got me over here bagging on The Rock." I'm sorry. He has these moments where he's like, I don't even know why I'm talking this shit. God, that's hilarious. I wonder if he really. I've heard two different stories. I forget who the other person was, but there's somebody else who says they punked Khabib too, and he didn't do anything, but. I don't know, maybe it was Nate telling another story. I don't know, but...
I wouldn't doubt it, though, because, I'd say his dad was still alive for the Conor fight, but it's his dad wasn't at the fight, which is why he flew out the fucking octagon like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, he usually keeps a level head. He doesn't fly off the rails for any reason. But this whole thing with Nate, with the picture, it's one or two ways. Either they really did take the picture to fuck with Nate, or Nate just happened to be there. Nate just kind of looked like he just happened to be there, honestly.
I think because the way he's standing up, right? If you notice, there's nobody else standing up. It's them and then Nate standing up in the background.
Yeah.
And I think really what it is Nate was actively thinking they were talking shit, and we don't know. It's a picture, so we don't know. They could have been staring back at him, pointing at him and shit. They could have. But from the context of the picture, it looks a lot like they were just having a good time, decided to take a picture, and Nate in the back was like, those fucking pussies over there talking that shit, I know it, bro. And then they got the picture in that time, and he was like, and then they just took a fucking picture of me? That's bullshit, bro. It's like, no, Nate, I think they were just having a good time, I think. They might have just been having a good time. Oh, man. Nate Diaz on this part you've seen. It's a video of Nate commenting on Khamzat's fight afterwards.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah!
You watch Khamzat's fight?
Yeah, I was watching on the warming up.
What did you make of his performance?
Lame, scared, boring, rookie, whack, pussy, lame, dick sucker. all those things.
Did you watch?
Hell yeah. The dick suckers broke everybody.
Let me throw something else in there.
All right. Yeah, let me see what else. He's like, none of those making you guys laugh that much? How about dick sucker? All right, and then we got
oh fuck! I never went to Walmart.
You were supposed to go to Walmart?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's not something important.
What was it?
It's just I was supposed to go as to get some Crystal Light packs.
Oh, okay. I gotta get some liquor.
Yeah, I can fucking go any other time.
Yeah. And last video on our appraisal of Nate Diaz is John Anik, or it was somebody. Oh, it's It's a video of Connor, saying how he was picking on John Anik, and then it's a video kind of like explaining the whole situation of what he's talking about. Let me re-roll it here. I might as well just refresh it.
He even tried to pick on John Anik the other day. He has a bully mentality until a real man shows up. Like Mike Tyson said, he's scared.
John Anik. You. How about that?
Hell yeah.
You know, I was picking Conor McGregor to beat Nate Diaz largely because Nate was taking the fight on 10 days' notice, and I didn't give him much chance in the fight. So I called my co-host Kenny Floria before the podcast. I said, I want to make it fun and do another tattoo bet. That's it! He's got the chain!
Damn. Not a tattoo bet, bro. Come on.
John Anik better get a mother
209
tattoo. I'm a whoop his little. I'm just kidding. John Anik, you ain't gotta get no tattoo.
Complete 180.
Don't be talking shit though.
Upset with it, and it drew his attention and drew his ire to any extent. I was getting the tattoo win or lose, as a measure of respect.
Shouts out.
Okay.
Shouts out. John Anik rules, bro.
Yo, that man needs to go home and see his family. Him and Bruce Buffer, bro. They're at every event.
You are
it's
not
like, yo,
wrong.
relax.
You're not wrong. And when John Anik's not at an event, he's doing like a recording for some like UFC thing, like UFC
Some
Countdown
ad.
72, whatever the fuck it is, So that's it. I mean, it's just so much to love about Nate and all that. It's a video like to make a compilation of that. Somebody also made a compilation on Facebook that I wasn't going to show because it's like 10 minutes long, but I'll send it to you because I was mesmerized. It was just videos of him doing KOs, submissions, and then just videos of him like outside the octagon, just being Nate. Like, so fucking fun. Like, they're just the most like without even trying, they're the most charismatic dudes on the roster. Like it's. And Nick's not even on the roster anymore, and he's still like, when people see him, they lose their fucking mind because they want him to fight again. So the crowd wants to let him know, like, oh my God, we love you. Please come back.
And after that fight with what's his name? Oh, shit. Robbie. When he fought Robbie Lawler. Like, after the bell had rung, like, Robbie went out to him. He's like, yo, you good? Like, you need help with anything? Like, that's how you knew. It's like they were boys now compared to when they fought the first time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But even I thought that. I was like, bro, why are you fighting after all this time? You're fighting like they were supposed to be at 170 and then Nick couldn't make weight. So then they made it a 185 fight. Like I think the week of, like way before like they would normally start weight cutting.
Right.
So then they fought at 185. And it was just like, damn, bro, why are you here?
Why? Like, you clearly didn't want to do that, so, yeah, money.
For real.
Probably wanted money for something. Okay, so, we have what we end off with on every episode of Throwing Hands. This has been a long episode. It's been a good episode, though. It's been real good. We always end on a street fight, and this is probably one of my favorite street fights. Probably top 5, one of my favorite street fights. I picked this out. And I hope you like it. We'll go ahead.
That's off the title. I know it's going to be great.
So what we try to do with the street fights here is we try to just watch it through, and then we try to watch it through on lower volume and try to commentate through it afterwards. Yeah. So we'll try to we'll watch it through here. I did skip 10 seconds in to skip the little shit talk part of them just jawing at each other. We all get it. Talking that shit. What up, young blood? What up, old man? Whatever it is. And then we go from there. So let's see how this unravels.
You got a knife on you.
Oh, he's got a knife on him. I did not know that.
Come on, put him up.
Oh, wait. Who has a knife? What the
guy
hell?
in the white shirt.
Oh. I mean, he's definitely a man for still fighting him. Ooh.
Dirty clinch.
Ooh. The slip, the uppercut. Jesus. That old man straight. That old man. Jesus Christ.
Skills are showing through.
He got that arm wrapped in the shirt. Old man grounded back.
That's slow. High five it out.
They still have respect for each other. Like nobody's like still talking shit or anything. Like they handshake it out and it's all done.
100%. That's. I wish there was more of these street fights that you see online where it ends like that, where there's two dudes like, yo, you all right, you good, but it's always more just like shit talk or kicking a mother down, and I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lower the volume here. Let's try and commentate through this a little bit here. Okay, so we'll start it here at about get a little bit more into the John. I think he just points out that he has a knife in fact, because I don't really see it in his hand ever, and nothing drops out of his hand either. So I think he just like knows that he has a knife. So these guys clearly know each other.
Yeah.
All right, and I mean, just a point. So I already know what we're gonna be commentating about too, which is the fact that this old man has got some fucking skills, and this guy, this young blood, doesn't know shit. There we go. Immediately, old man. He's got the stance. Whether it be weird or not, he's got the stance.
Hands in motion, head movement. Okay,
right.
Okay, footwork a little bit.
Doing this means nothing. So a lot of dirty boxing, and that's the thing. When people clinch up, it's normal to happen in street fights. Got to hit those shovel punches, like you said, right in.
Don't go off the legs.
There you go, right over the top.
Yep, this is actually a hockey fight when you think about it, just without the ice.
That's right. Then he's got that tie up in the shirt. He realized in that moment, I have you, and I'm gonna throw these two hits.
Yeah, this is definitely a classic moment of listen to your elders for sure. Because if not, this is what will happen to you. This is definitely what could potentially happen.
Yeah, that's a that's a really, really good street fight. Like it's a genuinely it's a street fight and it's got intent behind it, and then in the end, it's like you can learn from that. Like really, he should. If you want to fight like that guy, what is this? What is this? What is he doing?
It's somebody who definitely has never really learned how to fight, or at least protect themselves at that. Like, you just kind of know you got to have your hands somewhere near your face.
Right? I mean, because, old man was like this. He was still, it's not proper, to say, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Still got one hand blocking, sort of. Jesus. Have some care for your face. It's wild. He's so young. He has no care for his face like that. It's wild. That's crazy. That's why I don't like to get, I'm, almost to my third stripe in jiu-jitsu, and I've been training jiu-jitsu for off and on for a long time now, and love fighting. I just study striking, all that shit. It means nothing. I don't actually want to fight anybody.
Oh yeah, hell no.
I don't hit this. This is wild. I'm scared of facial reconstruction. I don't want it to happen to me. People, but I get it. The younger I was, the more willing I was to get into a fight.
Dude, even when I was young, I didn't want to fight, and people wanted to fight me because I was so calm all the time. I would keep a straight face. I wouldn't be doing anything. It's weird. They don't like it.
I get
so
it.
They want to fight me, but then at the end of the day, it's they kind of see where my reach is at, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" That, or I make them laugh. It's one of the two. It never really gets to a fight. I don't really let it. And if it does, it's I'll deal with it if I have to. But 99% of the time, it never really got down to actually throwing hands for real.
Hey, nice. I like the wording.
As I said it, I was like, podcast name.
Hey. This has been a real good episode, and I appreciate you so much for being here on Last Minute, man, and getting here after your raid. I'm gonna let me promote real quick. I'm gonna let you guys know that you can find us on social media, SuperSourjir. You can find us on Spotify and SoundCloud. SuperSour Podcast on there. That's the easiest way to find us. Go to twitch.tv/SuperSourGames where you can see me, Black Guy, Stuart. We play all kinds of games. We're gonna get Darnell in there. Don't you worry about that. And you can also see Reese crocheting sometimes and doing other stuff. stay in touch with the channel so that way you can see all our podcasts, our episodes, and you can see Reese's network coming out soon, or Reese's channel coming out soon. We have a lot of things coming up in the SuperSour world. Stay connected with us. Become part of the SuperSour Society. Stay active in the comments because we love to hear your feedback. We would love to hear whether you love us, you hate us. We want to know. You can hit the like button. Don't hit that dislike button. And then make sure you share to the people that you hate. Tie-dye all those buttons up for us, and we really appreciate that shit. Darnell, how'd you like that promo? Okay, I did pretty good right there, right?
Top tier.
Top tier. Do you have anything you need to promote? Anything like that you need to push?
I guess my Twitch, because I'm going to probably start streaming a lot more often now.
Yo, is that true? Because Reese told me your Twitch was pretty good.
It can be sometimes, like whenever we're all fucking around. But yeah, when I stream, sometimes it can be funny. At least when I'm actually like with my friends and not playing a single player game. Yeah. I give commentary in between while I'm fucking around. It's twitch.tv/blanks. It's BLX. I can look at it. NKZ_. Gotcha. Soon, probably the start this weekend, I'm gonna be streaming God of War because I never played it. I talk shit about it because that's not my Kratos. But yeah, I'm gonna stream that on the weekends and hold myself accountable for that until November 9th when it comes out, the second one.
That's what's up. I'm gonna push you for it too. I'm gonna be like, yo, you streaming? What's going on, man?
I appreciate that because that'll make me get off my damn bed.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll be saying, you know what's going to remind me? Every time I go live, I'm going to be like, yo, what are you doing? When you streaming next? Guys, go check out his Twitch. That would be very appreciated. He is a part of the SuperSour Society now. So in the comments, please welcome Darnell. And this has been great. I mean, this has been awesome. I hope we get you on the next one too, bud.
Oh, yeah, bro. Just hit me up. I'll be ready.
Oh, yeah. Well, until next time, guys.
Peace.
Welcome to Throwing Hands.